afternoon, Falcons. Today I want to speak to you about intimate partner and domestic abuse. I am hoping that we can identify the pattern, help find a solution, and implement ways to stop the pattern of abuse. I want everyone to close their eyes for the next few moments and listen to this story. Melody is 19 years old and in her first serious relationship. Although Melody is being abused by Chris on an everyday occurrence because she was conditioned to see abuse as a normal way to show love as a child, Chris's abuse does not put any red flag up. You are always telling her that she needs to walk away, that he doesn't really love her, and that she can do better, but your words constantly fall on deaf ears. After the seminar on abuse you heard from school, you decide to reach out to Melody and try to convince her to leave. Instead, you find out that Melody is in a coma because Chris's anger got so out of control that he beat her severely. You think to yourself, now she will leave him if she wakes up. Eventually, after getting pregnant again and almost losing the child because of the several beatings, she finally left for good. By this time, it was too late. He was not going to let her go. When you saw her, you tried to convince her to file charges, but she refused, so you walked away telling her not to call you again. That night, Melody became a statistic, and you did nothing to help. According to the Texas Council on Family Violence, domestic and intimate partner abuse is a leading cause of injury to women ages 15 to 45. This is more than muggings, car accidents, and rapes combined. Domestic violence is very common. In fact, 1 out of every 4 women in the United States will experience some form of domestic violence in their lifetime. Most women and children live with the agony, fear, and torture of domestic violence for years before ever reporting it, and some never do. Instead, they become a statistic. It is the abuser who is responsible for his abuse. But as a battered woman, it is the victim that is always to blame. Not only by their abuser, but by their friends, family, strangers, and their own self. The woman is not to blame. Violence is a choice that he makes. To cure the nation's domestic violence epidemic, we need to get to the root of the problem: abuse in young teenage relationships. Almost 1.5 million high school students are physically abused by a dating partner in a single year. 1 in 3 girls in the United States is a victim of physical, emotional, or verbal abuse from their partner, a figure that far exceeds rates of other types of youth violence. According to the CDC, youth who experience dating violence are at a higher risk for victimization during adulthood. One way we can help is to talk to her and help her open up. You may have to try several times before she will confide in you. Do not judge her. Listen to and believe what she tells you. Too often people do not believe a woman when she first discloses abuse. An abused woman often faces huge obstacles, such as nowhere to go, no money, and no one to turn to for support. Recognizing the problem is an important first step. I know you think that the beginning of this was a way for me to get your attention. Sadly, this is not the case. The story I told you at the beginning was about a close friend of mine. A friend who was killed by the same person that swore their love to her. A friend who was pregnant and who was shot and killed by this man in front of their little boy only 24 hours after police removed him from their home. Their idea of helping her was to tell her they could remove him from their house and make him leave, but because she defended herself and gave him a black eye, they would have to arrest both of them and sort it out as a he said, she said complaint. 24 hours later, the same police officers responded again to find my friend, her mom, and her unborn child dead from gunshot wounds, and their son hiding. My friend became a statistic, but her death also helped me to wake up to my own abuse. I know you're scratching your head, but before the violence got so bad that he shot and killed her, she spent many years back and forth due to his excessive beatings. Domestic violence is an epidemic that we need to cure together.